Welcome, everybody. You're watching another exciting episode of Sonic Nerdballing. No edits, no retakes, 100% budget content. I'm your host, as always, Orion Gemini, here in freezing cold Ottawa, Canada. Today, we are visiting Nashville, Tennessee, a place that needs no introduction. It is my distinct pleasure to be speaking with a social media legend, Mr. O'Bacon. Mr. O'Bacon is the mastermind, creator, administrator, goalkeeper of the ever-growing Facebook phenomenon, Pedalboards of Actual Dickheads. That's right, Pedalboards of Actual Dickheads, a group that requires potential members to pass a rigorous admission process and, once approved, maintain a level of rapport to enjoy the continuing benefits of membership status. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Welcome, Mr. Bacon. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me today. Just before we get started with the interview, I'm going to give people just a little bit of background on why I'm doing this interview with you. So as some of you may know, I began documenting pedal boards of some of my local musician friends here in Ottawa during 2021. In doing so, a friend of mine referred me to Mr. Bacon's Facebook group. Just a couple of weeks ago, this same friend shared an exchange he had in his group in a text message to me. I asked him, "Are you picking fights with people on the internet?" He laughed. He said, "It's not like that." I asked to become a member the following day to find out more. Since becoming a member, I've reached out to the group to continue these pedalboard show and tells. Before I did, though, I felt like I needed some questions answered from the guru himself of the pedalboard universe. Mr. Bacon, of course, is who I'm talking about. Welcome, Mr. Bacon. Would you like to introduce yourself before I begin with some questions?
I think you did a pretty fair job of doing that. So, I'm Ashko Bacon. I'm the administrator and creator of Pedalboards of Actual Dickheads. That's really about it.
Tennessee. So, what's it like in Nashville right now? I got snow on the ground here.
Well, we just had a huge storm that passed through, and it's destroyed a lot of places, so it's kind of weird, but, it's all right. I mean, it's Tennessee.
Okay, you're surviving. Okay, so I'm going to get started with some questions, okay? And feel free to elaborate as much, as little as you want, okay? So talk to me. When did it start? How did it start? And maybe most importantly, like, why does something like this start? And what I'm talking about I'm talking about the creation of a group dedicated to pedalboards and dickheads.
Okay, the group started earlier this March, and it's totally a joke. A couple of years ago, I was a part of another Facebook group called Pedalboards of Actual Doom, which is a parody group of Pedalboards of Doom.
Okay. I think I've seen that. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of people use the of Doom moniker as just as saying, "Oh, it's super awesome," but a lot of us actually play real doom metal.
Yeah,
So
right.
the reason why they put actual in front of them, this is a parody of that. The reason the group got started, I was surfing around and I've joined a lot of different Facebook groups and whatnot. Back when I was a contributing member of Pedalboards of Actual Doom, a lot of the manufacturers of Doom-related gear go to this site and communicate with their end users. And one of them happened to be Fuzz Lord Effects, Jason. I forgot his last name. But anyway, so he makes a friend of mine who I guess is really offended, has a liking for his gear, started a fan group dedicated to his pedals. I never commented on it or anything like that, and I was like a member for like a year because I didn't own any of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I think somebody was posting about an HM2 and his collection of HM2s and SC2s, Hyperfuzz, and it was just about the time the new Wazacraft HM2 was about to come out, and I was like, "Oh, you have to get the new HM2 when it comes out." And Jason, who I've talked to fairly, in passing a couple times, commented, "Hey, this isn't the group for you." I was like, "Okay, sorry, I didn't mean any slight against your stuff. I could get my clones anywhere." And he kicked me out of the group.
Oh
So I
wow.
was like, oh, that's yeah. So yeah, I was like, wow, that's petty as fuck. And I messaged him, and he completely like blocked me. And I'm completely blocked from any Fuss Lord Effect stuff. And I was like, oh wow, that's kind of sucks. Well, you know what? If I get kicked out of this group, I'll start my own damn group.
Okay.
So I started Pedalboards of Actual Dickheads.
Okay.
And,
Okay, interesting. Very
yeah,
very cool. So this has been going since March, and you've already got like
yeah.
how many members do you have?
I think we're just about to cross 4,000.
Like that's amazing.
Uh,
That's
yeah,
that's a
I mean,
lot.
like so when I started the group, you know, you jib and you bust chops on some of these sites. At least I did. I always thought it was fun. I never made it anything really bad about it, but
Mhm.
like, oh, your wiring looks like crap or something like that. And
Right.
try to be funny about it. So I was like, okay. So it was like, I'll just start a group dedicated to the art of the roast,
Oh,
and
cool.
it just kind of took off from there.
Oh, cool.
I mean, people like talking shit. That's just
Amazing.
the kind of the road.
Well,
I think that's why the groups could become so popular.
it's interesting because in this day and age, like there's people, there's a lot of division, as you know. And I don't want to get
Yeah.
into politics or any of that stuff, but it's a
Yep.
sensitive topic. So that's why I think there's something interesting going on with this group. And anyways, before I spoil, I have other questions that dig in a little deeper
Okay.
here. So so you've talked a little bit about the group name, like where the actual dickhead came from. Um, talk to me. Talk to me about the group banner. And I want to know. Here's what I want to know.
Okay.
This doesn't look like a manufactured picture. This looks like an actual dude who may have cut his hair like that once upon a time. So, what do you know about it, and where? And has this person ever reached out to you? Like, talk to me.
I looked up dickhead on Google Images, and that was the funniest one. Maybe it's manufactured. I'm assuming it's a meme because if you type dickhead into Google Images, that was like the first thing that popped up.
Oh, is it?
So, yeah. Look, I mean, check it out. I don't know if it's still there. Stuff changes in a couple months,
Ash
but yeah.
or Mr. Bacon's. Excuse my.
You can call me Ash. It's fine.
I'm wondering, just off the top of my head, I think we should find this guy. Just, anyways, food for thought. We can talk about that
If you
possibility
wanna do
another
it,
time.
you're welcome to do the legwork. But I'm not putting that much effort into this.
I might actually do some work and try to find this guy because I'm curious. Anyways, so that answers that. So he hasn't reached out to you. There's no lawsuits. There's no.
No. Honestly, if you pursue it, that guy might actually start a lawsuit or something like that. I don't know, but
Okay, I'll be all right.
So I guess that's a good way to get the banner changed. But it's
No,
a
I
random
don't want to
Google.
do that.
I don't really care.
I don't want to do that. So let me sit with that. It's more of a fantasy. I want to chase it down. Okay.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings if you did.
And I don't know, like it's just a perfect picture. It's so perfect, it's so suitable.
There was an amazing amount of little effort that actually went into
Oh,
finding
it's
that
so
picture.
good. It's so perfect. So let me ask you this: do people want to be a dickhead? Do people? And I guess maybe talk to me about. Yeah, so the members on your site, do they want to be a dickhead or are they trying to avoid being a dickhead? And help me understand this because I think it's very complex. It's quite complex. At least to me it is.
I mean, you're basically trying to explain the human condition. I think generally people want to be a dickhead, but they also want to be cordial at the same time. So it's not like I have to push anybody to actually being a dickhead or talking trash or anything like that. Because I notice a lot of the times the comments are really supportive, or something like that. So they kind of miss the point of it.
Yeah.
And I guess when I use the dickhead monitor, it's also about talking trash, but it's also being like a kind of super cringy about their about generally being cringy, but especially about pedals and stuff like that.
What do you
Because
what do you mean by that?
I've worked in the industry a lot, and I'm retired from it because honestly I just can't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
Because everybody dickhead. I mean, but dickhead has its own extended terms and can mean a lot of different things. But yeah, it's usually like cringy stuff like that.
So is it good to be a dickhead or is it bad to be a dickhead?
mean, I think that's really subjective, but I have fun doing it. So,
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Because yeah, it's confusing, but it's quite complex and interesting. Um, I don't know if we'll ever get to the bottom of the answer to that because it's quite deep and I don't know. But thank you for sharing what you could about it because I guess if I may for a second, like I'm not gigging the way I used to gig. I used to gig, and in gigging you're gonna run into other people's boards and gear and stuff. And it's funny when you see a piece of gear and you don't see the person, and it's kind of like, what is this board telling me about this dickhead who's about to play after me? You know what I mean? And it almost doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter if the board is awesome and you're jealous, or it's totally ridiculous and it's like, wow, man, that's just brutal. You can be, you can rip into it no matter what,
Oh yeah, you can rip into. I mean, having a having a pedal board is like assembling like your own actual instrument. What's good for some, it might not be good for others.
Yeah.
I've seen pedals. I've seen pedals that I absolutely hate sound great through other musicians and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really it's basically a paintbrush, and people use paint differently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I mean, there's some things that I don't like messy cables and stuff like that. Or we get a lot of people from cheap awesome effects and stuff like that, and like there was a huge influx of those. And so I guess when people post dickhead pedal boards, they usually try to post like the cheapest stuff they find, a bunch of Amazon pedals or Joyo or
Yeah.
however you pronounce. That's not the purpose of the group, but I guess some people tend to assume that's what part of that actually is.
Okay, cool. Very good. I think I'm guilty in that department. I have a sick addiction to collecting pedals. It's quite ill, and I'm sure I share it with a lot of people. And I'm like I'm a equal opportunity like collector of nice stuff and the worst stuff. But anyways, I don't want to talk about me. I mean, I do, but nobody wants to hear that shit. So what do I want to ask? Okay, so the site commentary gets pretty colorful at times. Does it ever cross the line? And I want to talk a little bit about.
Constantly.
I want to talk about your role a little bit about. Maybe tell me a little bit about like when has it like. Is there a moment that you're like, man, this is not what I wanted, and this has gone too far? And your role as an administrator, goalkeeper, what do you do?
I try to keep the site as apolitical as possible, because I mean, I don't know if you've been to the other, like if you're a member of like unpopular guitar opinions or stuff like that. It usually just kind of like the comment section just collapses into toxic masculinity and sectarian politics or something like that, and it just becomes like gamer commentary at some point like that. So I try to keep it as apolitical as possible. Try to get people not to talk about cancel culture, because it's like it's just hacky. I mean, it's like watching an episode of Duckman from like 1990s. And I don't know. I'm just tired of hearing about it.
Right.
And also try to keep it as asexual as possible. So yeah, we use dickhead and stuff like that, but I don't want to hear people go suck a dick or talk like that. And I think that's what the biggest thing I boot people for is overtly sexual talk and just a lot of toxic masculinity stuff.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Yeah, so,
see what a contradiction, but amazing. I mean.
Yeah.
But that's what's so complex about this little culture that you're building here with this group. That's good to hear. I'm happy to hear that. But people, they're going to tread close to the line, and so it's good that somebody's watching that stuff so that it doesn't because there's a camaraderie in this group. I mean, you feel it, and it's kind of like people are ribbing each other and dickheading each other, if you will. And there's a sense of like camaraderie, if I dare use that word.
I think it's good. I mean, I guess they survived not getting booted or actually carry the demeanor because I really do. I reject a ton of like applicants to the group, and mostly it's either because they don't have a profile picture or they don't answer the questions. And this group is a doom focused is supposed to be a doom focused doom metal focused group, and a lot of
Okay.
people think it's not
Okay,
or
cool.
don't realize.
Okay, well that's interesting to know. That's I think
Yeah,
that people will find that helpful. Um,
yeah.
how are you doing for time? Am I eating up too much of your time?
I got nothing going on.
Okay, so there's only a few more.
Okay.
I'm just looking at some of my questions, and I don't know if they're relevant anymore. So that was interesting, like, so to you, like, what's the biggest misconception about pedal boards of actual dickheads? And I think you just mentioned one of them. But
Yeah.
what do people who don't know, like, what is the obvious thing, like, that's just a, hey man, like, you're just not getting it.
I think it's that and overt sexual talk. That's probably the only two things that really get me as far as the misconceptions about the group. But honestly, I don't really think about it all that often. Ironically enough, I kind of get why Jason booted me in the first place for the other group, but like on hindsight, like yeah, I totally get why he did that and why he doesn't why he doesn't want to talk to people because or keep the line of conversation, line of discord or whatever. I'm sorry, can't think of the actual term for that. Open. So I totally get why he booted me. He just ignored me for a block me, and it's like so in hindsight, yeah, I totally get it. But no, still fuck that guy.
No, like, you started your own group, and it's, like, doing amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I honestly do not put almost little effort to it. Like the only thing I really do is check new users or something like that. And if I found out if I reject a whole lot of people, a lot less people stop coming. But like I don't care.
Good. So there's some serious quality selection. I was nervous when I applied. I was like, um, "Hey man, am I gonna get in? Because I really wanna understand what's going on here." And somehow I slid through the cracks. I'll tell you, I'm not, I'm a lover of all kinds of music, but Doom is
I mean
not my
that's fine.
favorite.
Dude,
Doom,
I love '80s pop, like straight up
oh
and
yeah,
disco. So, so
yeah. Like
like
if you looked at my
yeah,
record collection, you'd be scared. You'd be afraid. You might not talk to me. Um, okay, so there's just a couple more. So what advice would you give to a freshman dickhead joining the group? What advice would you give them to maybe survive like the first I don't know, week?
all of the group rules. That's the only thing I say I could really suggest because otherwise, if you do anything, I'll probably boot you. Like, just I mostly just boot people because I don't want to have to deal with their shit afterwards.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So just follow the rules, and these are the rules that you've posted at the top there.
yeah. It's in the group description. It should be in like I think there's an actual slot for creating group rules, and you can actually put that on. But I'm not. I don't care enough to actually
Yeah,
go
right.
back and
Okay.
over.
So has anybody? So this is good. Has anybody been able to find the twerking next generation dance girl and
Oh, no,
submit it?
I don't think that's an actual video. It's just a dumb concept. I think it'd be funny to see somebody twerk to the theme song. Honestly, to the theme song of Star Trek: The Next Generation because I've been watching that show constantly.
Okay.
Because I work third shift, so I have to like sleep all the time, and that show puts me to sleep all
Oh
the time.
yeah,
So
yeah. I know what you mean. It's got this like sort of like drone about it that just puts you out. So if I get kicked out and I recorded
yeah,
a video of myself twerking to the next generation,
theme song. Yeah,
would
I'll let you.
would you
I'll
let
give
me
you another
back?
shot.
Would you let me back in
Yeah, I'll
on
give you
on
another
a
shot.
promise for best behavior?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
thank
would.
you. Okay, that doesn't extend to everybody, just to me.
Oh no, it's literally everybody. But honestly, you can also pick any theme song from any TV show, and I think and the joke would still work.
Okay, I like the next
Just think about
generation.
no, really think about it. Somebody twerking to like the introduction of like Family Ties or something like
Oh,
that.
nice.
Or
Or Matlock.
yeah, dude, it'd be
Yeah,
great. It's a great
yeah,
joke.
yeah.
It should be a meme, and I'm really trying to encourage
Okay,
that
well,
to
I
be.
think you're getting it moving there.
Uh,
Uh,
maybe.
okay, so what else do I have here? let me see, because I know, like, okay, last thing.
Okay.
Well, second last thing, okay? So, are there any questions I didn't ask you? Hold on, before you say no. Are there any questions that I should have asked you that you'd like to provide an answer to? And I don't want to know what the question is. I just want the answer. So, what should I have asked you? What should I have asked you? And if so, what would the answer be? And I don't want the question.
CC Note 7.
C Note 7. Okay. Thank you.
CC Note 7.
CC Note 7?
No,
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good enough. Thank you. I'll figure that out at some point here. Okay, good. I thought that was a pretty creative question. If I may pat myself on the back here. So the last one's for you. Is there anything you want to express that you want to use this opportunity to share with people about the site? Anything you'd like to add, whatever that might be.
Well, no, not really. I'm kind of honestly surprised it's taken off this much because this group is completely a joke, and I have no monetary gain or anything from this. Like, I'm not going to start like a clothing line or start doing merch or anything. It's literally just a group. So if it gets to be 500,000 people, a million people, or something like that, which I hope it doesn't. I mean, it's not going to change, and I'm not going to let anybody else admin the place. The only other admin in the group is actually me from another account in case I get, like, cut out of it or something like that, so I have that as a backup. Cool. So it's just going to be me sifting through this. But, yeah, I don't know if there's anything misconceptions about that. I don't know, just,
Okay. Well, Mr. Bacon, thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule to talk to me and help me understand what's bubbling up here on your Facebook group, and that is as they say, that's it.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Cheers, buddy, and stay cool.